Hello. In this video, we are going to make the answer of whether we won or lost show up on the actual page. So first thing is we need to identify a place for this answer to go. So I already have some text that says the results are. Then we could wait for kind of an answer to show up here. So I'm going to switch back to my index.html. Because if I want this answer to show up, it needs to go somewhere on the HTML. It actually is possible to create a new object, but I would rather just have this like placeholder for where this stuff is going to go. So here's my paragraph tag that says the results are da da da. So if I suppose I could try to grab that element and update it. But a good practice would be, if I just wanted to grab this little section right here, then I would use a span tag. So I'm right before the closing of the paragraph of the p tag. I'm going to add a span tag, open and close here. And I'm going to give it an ID just to be a little more clear. So an ID, notice how I'm inside the um, the opening tag here. So ID is equal to quotes result. That way there is this element now that my JavaScript can change and can update and do all kinds of things with. All right, so and that doesn't really change the way the page looks. It's just an empty tag, but at least it exists now. So my JavaScript is what's going to make that change. I want it to say you win, you lose. So I'm going to go back to my JavaScript. Now I kind of need to import that span element into here. So I'll do this in a similar way to how I grabbed the buttons and the text boxes. So const result span equals document dot query selector parens quotes as a span with the ID of result. Result singular. Yeah, result. All right, so that document.querySelector function then will import it into our JavaScript. We now have a variable that we can grab. So if I got the guess right, when console log win, but then actually grab that span and make it say you win. So take the result span. That's that variable name there. Dot. And then to change the text of the page, I would say dot inner HTML. When it's like a text object, a paragraph, an H3, I mean, almost anything on the page, if you want to change the text that's inside of it, it's the dot inner HTML property. Only for text boxes is it the dot value property. So here I'm going to say that the inner HTML is equal to quotes, you win, exclamation point. All right, so we'll see if we get that to work, test our little theory here. And to make this testing easier, I'm going to change my maximum number to 3. I might as well make it 2. And my minimum number to 1. So I have a 50-50 chance at least. So run that code. Just for the sake of testing. So I'll guess the number 2, see what happens. So I won, looks like it. And if I lose, it doesn't tell me that, but at least I do get this thing that says you won right here. All right, so I'll do the same thing for the else. Result span.inner HTML is equal to quotes you so angry about it. Just say you lose. All right, so I get it changing like that. Cool. Now, another little feature that'd be kind of nice, I think, is to maybe color code this answer here. So maybe I would change the background color of this little span. So that's what I would do. And maybe this would be a good chance. What if I wanted to change the entire p tag that it was inside of? Um, I kind of notice how it's embedded in here. So maybe we'll take a look at how that would work. All right, but let's just try to change the span. So we have this result span. You could say dot, and then change its style dot background color and set it equal to some kind of green. I'd probably like to pick a different color. But this with JavaScript lets me actually change the look of the page. So result span dot style dot background color is equal to green, and copy and paste my lose scenario here. The result span dot style dot background color is red. All right, so I guess a 2. And there I go. I got those to be color coded. So I could probably pick some really nice colors that work with my theme better. Um, but at least I got it working here. And then I could take it a little step further, um, just for the sake of showing you. What if I actually wanted to change that paragraph? The whole thing, the results are you win. Um, I could add an ID to it and make a variable for it. That could all work just well. But if I know that the result span is inside of that paragraph, I actually could kind of move through the document. Now that I have this result span, I'm going to press enter here, kind of move that down there. I'm going to put something in the middle. I'm going to say result span dot, I think it's called parent node. Let's see if that works. Oh, not 2 dots though. Parent node, and then the dot starts up on the next line. Let's see if that works here. Okay, so I see how it's changing like that. That's interesting. I think I have to do both. Yeah, I got to do both. But this shows you how you could actually change a different object. That p tag is a parent of the span. So I'm just going to copy and paste this here and then delete that whole parent node thing. So I got 2 different lines where it says, okay, the result span specifically changes to green, and the result span's parent node, its style changes to green. So if I just take all 4 of those lines here, replace that here, and then change this back to red. Now I can. Yep. So even though I've only identified the span with JavaScript, I could still change other parts of the page. So it gets a little tricky to do that, but you can move through the page and select other things. All right, so we have the essence of the random number stuff going. So now we want to tie that into the wagers.